What is good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts for your latest news video. And look, it's international break time. 2 weeks of no Chelsea. And I hate it. I do hate it, especially after a big performance. I mean, it's only been a few days, but I'm still buzzing after that Liverpool performance, after that game. What a result. What a performance from the lads. It was unreal. And the first thing I want to do is like, when's Chelsea next playing? Like, when are we back in action? It's 2 weeks away, mate. It is 2 weeks away. But look, we have to agree. We need this, man. We need this rest. This is a much needed break for all our players. And there are some positives. In fact, there are a lot of positives coming out of this break. The main thing, obviously, we're getting rest. A lot of our star players and, the names that we want on the pitch every single week, they don't look like they're going on international duty. Caicedo's not going. João Pedro, not sure about Enzo Fernandez, but there are a lot of players. Cole Palmer, obviously, because of his injury, so he's not going. So all our players are going to get a decent amount of rest that they didn't even get in the summer. So this is a positive thing. And I get it. Not everybody likes watching international football, but in terms of player recovery, hopefully this is now just a time for them to just rest, recuperate, let their muscles take a break. So when we come back after international duty, we will be ready and raring to go. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty much full squad, especially come to the centre back position, now in the back line, where the last few weeks, man, it's been dire. Like we've been picking names out of the hat, trying to make something out of nothing with random players and finishing the Liverpool game with four fullbacks against probably one of the most expensive attacking lineups in world football. And we kept them out, mate. We kept them out. And that in itself is impressive. But we had Josh Achimpong and Badiashile both come off of that game. Looks like it's precautionary based on the comments made after the match, which is fine. They'll get 2 weeks rest now. They're not going on international duty. So they should be fine and ready after the international break. The only, I would say, disappointing news or negative news to come out over the last few hours, Reece James was picked and called up for international duty. He was meant to go play Wales and Latvia with Thomas Tuchel's side. He's withdrawn. He's withdrawn. And yes, it's an injury. Now, we saw what his leg was like after the Liverpool game. Battered, bruised, bleeding. Kind of not unexpected that he was going to be withdrawn based on, what he looked like after that game. Am I disappointed? From an England point of view, yes, because, when Reece James in that squad, we have a great right back. Nico Riley's been called up in the meantime. But am I disappointed as a Chelsea fan? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is beautiful. Like I'm happy that he's not going because he needs the break and he needs rest. And he's one of those players that has been injury prone for a long, long time and has now hopefully managed to pass that. And the good thing about this injury is it doesn't look like it's a recurrence of the injury that plagued him for so long. I think it's just the fact of the injury on his leg after the Liverpool game. So again, I think this one is just precautionary for Reece James. So he should be back fighting fit. But after the international break, we are actually going to have pretty much every centre back. Tossin's back after international break. He served his injury. Fofana would have served his concussion suspension. There is a time limit after, getting a concussion. I think they have to have 2 weeks out of the game. So he served that now. So he will be back. We'll have Chalobah back. He served his suspension for the Liverpool game. So he will be back. Badiashile, Josh Achimpong, just precautionary. So they should be back. So we will have every centre-back available, apart from obviously Levi Colwill, who we know is going to be out for the season. But the fact is we're not going to be going into the Forest game, who is the first game back after the international break, with trying to find some centre-backs to play, calling up some more youngsters, or just trying to throw 4 fullbacks in again, which is positive. João Pedro's going to get a break. Thank God. Geezer's dying. He needs a break. Neto, I'm not too sure on Neto. I'll have to double check if he's on international duty, but I would hope not. Again, I'd hope the majority of players, if they can, sit this one out. Just take the rest, man. Come back fighting fit. So the squad, the shape of the squad, should look pretty good after the international break. Cole Palmer's the only one that's a little bit up in the air. We've all seen the video. the Hatto celebration and things like that, and how he was moving on the pitch. It, look, I'm going to be real with you. It didn't look good, man. He was wincing. He didn't look like he was walking right. It could be a little bit more serious than we initially thought. And I don't want to bring any bad juju right now. Like, until I see some concrete information come out from the club, I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to put anything on the player. Like, I just want to see him back fighting fit. And hopefully it's not as serious as it was made to look in some of those videos. It looked really bad. But it's also one of those, like, yeah, he wanted to play on it. He didn't think it was bad. The Benfica game, he had to come off for it. But there were talks about surgery, and maybe surgery is going to be the option to fix this and make the recovery a lot, quicker. And he'd have to spend, considerable time out anyway, but it shouldn't reoccur after that. But what we've done now is we've sort of left it a couple of weeks where if the surgery was necessary and needed, especially by the way that he's looking at the moment, we could have done it a couple of weeks ago because he was always going to miss these games anyway. And he could have had a few extra weeks to start his recovery. That's the only thing now, because if he goes and say we get some news out this week that he's gone for surgery, it's basically like 2 weeks delayed. So now he has to get through and start his recovery only now, where he could have started a bit sooner. So it's the only one that's up in the air. Hopefully, I mean, I saw some news that they're going to be back, I think, at back end of October, him and Tosin. I don't know. He's the only player out of that crop of players that are on the injury list that I'm not banking on coming back after the international break, I'll be honest. So I would just say prepare for it. But we've seen what the squad can do without him. There is enough quality there. There's enough players ready to step up as long as they can be consistent to aid this period without him. And then when he comes back, we should have an unreal team because he'll slot straight back in there and we know what he can produce. And that brings me on to what I want to talk about next. What is next? Because yes, the Liverpool result was amazing. We got those big 3 points. We put on a hell of a display. And it could be the catalyst to going on a good run and, turning our fortunes around. Because let's be real, every team is going to go through a tough period. Every team is going to go through a period where they're dropping points and they're not playing well. We've hopefully gone through ours now. And now this Liverpool game is a turning point. Liverpool seem to be dropping in their slump right now. 3 losses on the bounce, dropping points left, right, and centre. They're going through a tough period. All teams will go through it. City, Arsenal, everything. But the one thing that we need to do to make sure that wasn't just a fluke game, like it was just a one and done. Because what tends to happen is we do well against the big teams. 9 times out of 10, we tend to step up. You get the odd game where we don't. Generally, we do. On the big occasions, when we have to, we step up, even with a young squad. But it's when we drop down to the teams that aren't performing well or their levels are, below ours, the standards are below ours. Like I said, you drop down to sort of United where they're going through a tough period of time. That's when Charity FC rock up. We gift goals. We gift results. We even give red cards now. I mean, 4 on the bounce. It's getting a joke. I know the last one was the manager's one, but you know what I mean? It's becoming a consistent problem. And that is, the only thing that is slightly concerning. We need to turn that now. So what I'm looking at next is just looking at the 5 games next. We've got Forest away, first game back in the Premier League. Then we've got Ajax at home in the Champions League. I think it's Wolves, Tottenham as well. So we've got a good run of fixtures where we can pick up results, we can pick up points, and we can get on a winning run. If we can win, 5 out of 5 of the next games, I think even up until the end of November, we've got quite a really good run. And then we've got Barcelona and Arsenal right at the end. But if we can pick up maximum points, get maximum wins out of that and go on a bit of a run, things are going to be looking better. The only team that I would say is a bit tough in that selection is the Tottenham one. However, it is at 3-point lane. And we know how that goes down. It's a Spursy thing. We always pick up points at 3-point lane. But they are a bit of a better squad. They've got a much better manager now. Obviously, we will be coming up against Ange. So, Forest, please, whatever you do, don't sack Ange just yet. Keep him for the Chelsea game, and then whatever you want to do after that, by all means, sack him, ship him off to Timbuktu, whatever you want to do, by all means, but just keep him for our game because we know what Ange Ball's like. We saw it at Spurs. Their defence don't look great. Their attack is not as good as it was. So we should, at least coming off the international break, we should start with a win, but we need to pick up some consistency now. And I know that's been flying through the fan base at the moment is the result was great against Liverpool. Can we see this consistently now? Because, yeah, we've seen the briefs coming up about the club. No, their expectations is, it's top four. Retain top four, get back in the Champions League next season, not aiming to win the title. And look, not that I get it from a club's perspective. They have to set, their targets. If that's their targets, whatever. It's not my target because for me, we've won trophies last season. So I expect us to continue winning trophies because if not, maybe it's a little bit going backwards. But yes, top four is an absolute minimum. But trying to tell the players, and this is where I sort of disagree, the board, the owners, they can have their targets, whatever they want. But you can't tell me that if you're a player playing for a professional club like Chelsea and you've got the squad that you've got, you know what's available, you know how you can play because they've shown us that they can do it at the big stages, winning the Club World Cup, beating, the champions of England. They've seen that we can do it. You can't tell me the players are just going to accept, oh, we're only fighting for top four. Of course they're not. You saw what Moises Caicedo was coming out saying. We want to challenge for the title. We want to. So for me, even though it's coming from, the directors and things like that, I still think between the manager and the players, their eyes are still trying to challenge, still trying to push because they want to win the Premier League. They're going to want to win the Champions League and they're going to want to give everything. There's no way I'm sitting in that dressing room and looking around at the players and they go, oh, top four's okay. That's fine. I don't care what the sporting directors and what the ownership are saying. I'm just focusing at the moment on what the players are going to be thinking ahead. And I'm pretty sure, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it and how you feel, what you think the players might be thinking. But I'm pretty sure if I was a fly on the wall in that dressing room, they're going to want it to be challenging. They are because they want to, you've got too many top quality players in there that deserve to be in title winning teams, that deserve to be in Champions League winning teams. So there's no way they're not breeding that in to the other players, the other young players around them to want to push on and challenge and win things. So this next run of games is going to be vital. It's going to be very important to pick up some consistency, pick up those maximum points, those maximum wins and go on a good run. Hopefully we've gone through our stinky period. We've, dropped a few points here and there. We've drawn games and things like that. We've gone through that now. Let's take this Liverpool game and let's go and push and get a good run in 5 to 7 games of, winning on the back-to-back wins. Let's put a run together. Let's push the top, solidify ourselves definitely in that top 4 before Christmas and push on and challenge and fight. Because I know these players have got in them. They've shown that they can do it when they're on it. Of course, young players are inconsistent, but let's change that. Let's push. Let's push on, and I know the fans are going to be behind them. You saw the absolute scenes after that Liverpool win was unreal. So they know the fans are behind them, and then they're going to push, they're going to challenge, they're going to give that. Because one thing, fans will never ever complain if it's if you're drawing 1-1 and you've gone out to try and win that game and maybe you've lost it or maybe you've drawn it in the end. But if we see you try and do it, if we see you try and go out for that win, we're going to be behind you. We're going to back you no matter what. It's when you sort of lie down and just take it, go, look, we're just going to sit back and defend and try and that's when fans, tend to stick it to you going, come on, man, at least try for it. And we've seen that they're willing to try that. Enzo Maresca is willing to try and win things, try and win games and not just sit back like he did against Brighton United. So that's a good change and it's a good positive outlook that we want to see more of. And I think this could be a turning point to that. But that is all from me, guys. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But for now, that is all from me. If you are enjoying the content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you all in the next one.